Hey guys, welcome back. It's Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And so we had a question.
Yeah, please explain this to me because I wasn't here for this.
Okay, well, I wasn't quite sure what was going on. A couple people were talking about this on Twitter, said that Rooster Teeth, the animation studio,
yes,
has been accused by many current and former employees on Glassdoor, being a job review, employer review site, of being intensely crunch heavy, resulting in 100-hour work weeks and no paid overtime.
Well, that sounds like about what the gaming industry was doing too.
Right. So this gentleman here, Carnival Man, I'm assuming Carnival Man is a gentleman.
Carnival Man.
Carnival
Man does whatever a Carnival Man does.
Tagged me in and said, you guys usually cover things with the comic and animation industries. Did you hear about this?
No.
No, but
this
doesn't surprise me at all. So
no, wait, let me rephrase that. We have heard this about the animation industry, but not in Rooster Teeth in particular.
Not Rooster Teeth. It's very common. Yeah, it's very common overseas.
Yeah.
But they don't have a lot of the laws that we have in place here.
Right.
But a lot of the Japanese animation studios, they will talk about the almost sweatshop conditions that these poor animators.
So we have heard about this, but not in Rooster Teeth specifically.
Yeah. So this is happening here in the U.S. of A. Mm-hmm. The hours are very, very long. So we went out to Glassdoor, and this is the reason we're watching this is Rooster Teeth is part of WarnerMedia. They're part of that RWBY group. They're tied very closely to Crunchyroll and Cartoon Network. And we have been saying for weeks now that we think with all the restructuring going on at Warner Brothers that these companies are going to sort of merge into
right. You're going to start seeing layoffs and different things like that.
But we're starting to see some cracks.
Well, there must be something going down that people feel the need to come on here and complain. So something has to be happening, like we've been saying, because
I would say, if I had to guess, I would say cutbacks, because I have heard from multiple people that Warner Brothers is cutting back on staff. They're cutting back on resources. They're absolutely
this is that new CEO, because this appears the CEO, the new one that has has the money kind
the penny pinching AT&T CEO. Yeah, since AT&T acquired Warner Brothers, they've been very, very tight-fisted. We've said before, like we don't know where Thundercats War and High Guardian Spice and all these other Warner shows are.
The last CEO who let the money flow freely, like it was the land of money.
Yeah,
so,
and
now
it's not. And now they're tightening their belts to get ready for this new streaming service they're doing. They've already rolled RWBY, which is the company that owns Rooster Teeth and Crunchyroll and Verve, and they've rolled them into WarnerMedia.
Right.
I have heard from multiple people that Cartoon Network will probably be laying off.
Yes.
In the not too distant future. So this is not
something else too. If it's going on with what we're hearing about their streaming service, and that some of these things are going to go to their streaming service, they're going to need to up their what they have to put on their streaming service, which would also go along with that whole we have to get that out. We're going to try to do this really fast for no reason. So go. So this kind of would fall into that as well.
Right. It means that they're going to be pushing these guys and gals harder to churn out as much content as they can.
Right.
To get
it
ready
all
for
kind
that.
of fits like a puzzle. But go ahead.
So these are just the last month.
I would love to see some of these. Let's start. Where does it start?
Well, here's just today. This one's today. Now overall they have a 2.5.
That's not great.
That's not great, but it's also for years of now. You see a decline. The more recent the review, the worse the review tends to be, and it seems like something has gone down the last month or so.
Yeah.
And it could be cutbacks.
Well, that person gave a good review in May.
Yeah, but
now they don't work there anymore. Go back up for a minute. Do they still work there? Former employee. Good reviews. Okay.
Okay, because what happens sometimes with these companies is sometimes the culture changes. Mm-hmm. Now, Rooster Teeth did start out as like a YouTube thing, and then became like a full-blown animation studio. So it could have been that the person was there early on when it was a good place to work. And then when Warner Brothers came in and got involved, it just all came off the rails. So they're a former employee. And sometimes they will put current and former employees. I know this for a fact. Companies will put former and current employees up to giving good reviews to offset the negative reviews.
They do, but we know a place you work that does that.
Yeah, there was one place I worked where they did that. So
even the owner would pretend to be somebody else and write her own reviews.
Oh, but God, it was nuts.
It was funny.
So this one, May 23rd, company bites off more than it can chew, and the animators pay for it. So the cons, if you look at this, they talk a lot about the crunch, right? Advice to management. Management has been using a weird method to try and de-escalate hard feelings about crunch. They're acting like counselors who are there to talk and try to find coping mechanisms to deal with crunch. The best way to deal with crunch is to not have a crunch.
Right.
I'm just saying that is the best way. Now, this goes on in the game industry too. Where,
I know it does with the video games.
Yeah, especially I know EA was notorious for like its people were like they were like sleeping on the couches. They were basically camped out there all week, and the industries like gaming and stuff, they will burn young creatives out. Like you will be ready to freaking retire by the time you're 29 years
comics?
old. Yeah, well, not I would say comics is better.
Yeah,
comics
no,
is
but
better
used
than
to be.
this. So here we have a sinking ship planning to have a meeting about how to have a meeting to patch holes.
Well, okay, that's actually funny because if you've worked in some of these corporate places, there's meetings to have meetings about meetings that are for upcoming meetings to do meetings.
I worked for an ad agency once, and I swear to God, I actually got mad, and I said in one of the meetings, I'm like, why am I here? We're basically taking a pre-meeting for a meeting that we're having tomorrow, and you do realize, of course, that like, I could be doing actual work and not taking a meeting about the meeting. And then we have a post-meeting meeting. So my schedule working for this ad agency in a typical week, 20 to 25 hours per week I spent in meetings. So literally like half my work week.
And then why isn't it done?
Why isn't it done? Then they would complain when stuff didn't get done. Because the unspoken truth is, as a salaried employee, they really want you to work overtime. They want you to work overtime. So what they do is they take the meetings during the 9 to 5 hours, and then you're sort of expected, even though it's not explicitly told to you, but you do have certain things you have to get done throughout the week. And the only way possible to get these things done, of course, is to work longer hours.
Right.
And when you're salaried, you're not getting paid for it. And it's ridiculous.
Well, at this site, the cons. The management is terrible. Artists are led on with the promises of full-time employment and benefits dangled in front of them without ever being addressed, and ultimately are never given. There is no paid overtime. Artists had to fight for their right to time off between productions, and good luck getting any form of benefit despite them being plastered on the wall. Hey, that sounds like the place that you're wrapping up with.
Advice to management: you're not a group of guys playing Halo in your apartment anymore. Please run your business and look at what's happened to it. They might not have as much of a say as you think they do, though. That's the thing. Like, when these guys were doing just animations on YouTube themselves, that's one thing. Now that Warner Brothers is involved, they hold the purse strings. They've got management above them.
That's what happens when
you sell your company, it's no longer yours. Here's somebody May 14th. They said it was good. Even a good review. Fun place to work. A lot of crunch time.
Yeah.
Here, this one's today. Terrible management and toxic culture. Pros: biggest studio in town. Benefits are nice.
Well, someone else said you don't get benefits.
Yeah, flexible work schedule. So you can either work your 100 hours Monday through Sunday.
Okay, cons. Terrible management top to bottom. People in middle and upper management positions don't have the skills they need to lead. Conflict management is a foreign concept. Accountability is non-existent. This company is crippled by nepotism. Oh, what company isn't? Directors and some producers lack experience outside of Rooster Teeth. Well, you know what? Sadly, that seems to be a case in everything. Shira. Employees with solid industry experience are being led by people who don't know what they're doing. That sounds like other things I don't like.
Yep.
The filmmaking industry has proven workflows, and when corners are cut, every project suffers. Yeah, quality of content takes a back seat. All this leads to talent. People are just stop caring.
Yep.
Morale is low. Sometimes feels like film school and no one is learning anything. The wrong people get credit for successes. This sounds just like DreamWorks. Pay is lower than industry standards. More is expected with less. Despite recent Band-Aid situations, facilities and work conditions are awful. Dirty and noisy, shared office spaces with aging hardware. Communication has improved, but is still an issue between departments. There are a lot of negative attitudes between departments, and it affects collaboration. Well, yeah, that would. The cliques are worse than high school. Welcome to Tumblr. I mean, animation.
Welcome to the animation industry. Advice to management: let's rise to our potential, stick to proven industry practices, budget appropriately, maintain a level of accountability, audit management, replace those underperforming, hire key positions with prior experience, or promote the right people. Expect to pay more for the right talent. Work on conflict
Yeah, don't
management.
just hire from Tumblr.
Yeah, take action. Value quality over quantity. Again, right now they could be just cranking stuff out to get all these, because they've got all these new shows coming and all this new content they're making for Warner Brothers. I wish there was a silver lining. Again, everybody says the people are nice, but the poor management, low compensation. I've worked here for years and make entry-level pay. Some people have gone multiple years with no raise,
no
overtime pay. Every season of RWBY, And GL gets about a third or less made for free because nobody gets paid overtime, and it's not uncommon to work hundreds of hours of overtime. Toxic work environment.
They get paid.
Yeah, a lot of clicks. Yeah, right.
That's another story. That's a personal joke there.
You know something is going right when, after many complaints, HR reminds everyone they have to you have unlimited mental health doctor appointments. I could go on and on like an emo on MySpace in 2007 about reining it in. I'll leave it at this since I've seen many fans read these and be skeptical. It's not great. You can deny it, but there's a lot of evidence if you just accept it. And the reason you work here is because you get stuck and are promised it'll get better. That is so many jobs.
This sounds, though, like this person is an older person because you talk about emo and MySpace in 2007. Yeah. So it's clearly as someone who's older and has been around. I think the last one was somebody who's older and has been around.
Like, this is not normal. This is not how...
That's what I'm thinking.
An animation studio's run. They probably worked for other animation studios.
They're talking about MySpace and everything else in 2007. Yeah. They're clearly an older person working there.
Yeah, the work is low quality because it's hard to get jobs elsewhere. The pay is low, can't save money, and life-work balance is a joke. We have a bit of balance now, but it's only for the couple of months out of the year when production is in full swing. Then it's back into the meat grinder. Advice to management. You need to listen to the workers and make hard decisions and actually fight for better conditions. It's been far, far too long of it'll get better.
Yeah, we've heard that. We've been there, person. Yeah. We've been there.
Yeah. We know what to do next year. This isn't sustainable, and I think we all know it, but someone has to be the guy to say no when things aren't good enough. If you don't say no, hundreds of people suffer. Please.
Yeah, I totally relate to you on for another job completely, but yes. Sadly, this happens a lot of places.
Comically disorganized mess of a studio run like a rooster without a head.
Ooh.
Again,
current employee again.
Some fun co-workers. Crunch has gotten to an unacceptable level. Productions have been completed with over half of total hours unpaid overtime, especially impacting the comp and editing department. Management cares more about their ego than the quality of the work they put out, letting the crunch caused by their irresponsible decisions fall solely on the shoulder. Yeah, it's been a long day. Solely on the shoulders of the artists while they enjoy a 40-hour work week. Pay is laughable.
Oh, so they make sure they only have to work 40 hours.
Yeah. Oh, no.
God, that's typical.
Well, like I said, that one ad agency I worked for, it was, the boss made sure she was out of there at 5 o'clock every day. Meanwhile, if the work was going to get done, you were expected to stay later. And if you didn't give her a bunch of free time, then you didn't take your job seriously. Mm-hmm. That was, but she would make sure she took off at 5. Pay is laughable compared with the amount of mandated unpaid hours of labor. No career advancement, and contract workers are given empty promises of full-time employment before being shown the door once production is done. Stop saying the crunch issue is getting better that you're working on and start actually owning up to your mistakes.
Amen.
May 19th, massive layoffs and poorly skilled upper management is causing senior artists to look elsewhere.
Well, I think a lot of these are written by senior artists.
Yeah, a lot of employees brought on, if not all, before the last development cycle were promised permanent positions after a 90-day trial period. As those dates approached, those artists saw no change, asking their leads what was going on. The guidance from higher-ups was vague. Some felt like they had been forced to lie to employees during the interview process. Crunch is extreme and overtime is not compensated for. Advice to management. Clear and concise communication. Restructure your upper level management. May 12th. Poor management and crunch ruin the studio. Again, it's the same thing. Crunch is out of control. No paid overtime. Expect to work a lot for free. 70 to 80 hour work weeks. Mandatory 10, 12 hour work days, sometimes with no days off. Management is more interested in telling you what you want to hear as opposed to the truth. Fix the crunch issue. Management needs to be improved.
The management is clearly a problem here.
Again, no paid overtime. Crunch is a major problem due to unrealistic deadlines, poor planning, and indecisiveness. It goes on and on. This seems to be a consistent, going back to April. No paid overtime, crunch. Here's one. Great place to work for. Doesn't pay as much as other places, but in Austin, it's not as expensive to live in LA or New York, so it's not a big problem. It does seem like the younger people, I think, put up with it more.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not saying this is a younger... Yeah. Some employees have been working here for years. Some are fresh out of college. This is their first job. I think there are some younger people who are like, well, at least I get to work for Rooster Teeth and I got a job.
Yeah.
There's the bright side. I don't have a family I have to get home to every night or other life responsibilities. Whereas the older folks who might have actually worked for like Disney or something or like, screw this shit, you know?
Yeah, no, that's what I think is going on here. I think it seems like the older people are the ones.
Yeah, terrible hours. And it's ramped up though.
It's all management. Management needs to change. Management's terrible. Management. Clearly, Rooster Teeth, you have a problem with your management team. You might want to do something about that.
And really, the last couple months it's really ramped up. And again, that would coincide with all this stuff going on with Warner Brothers, WarnerMedia. So watch Rooster Teeth, beyond the fact that...
Oh, wait. Well, can I read this real quick?
Yeah.
This person gave it a good review, mostly. This is important.
This is from last year.
Great work-life balance. Love who I work with. Great benefits and make an impact. Now, look. Cons. Not as much accountability as I'd like. Very liberal. Not friendly if you don't align.
Oh. Okay. Well, okay, because this could potentially dovetail with the situation with Vic Mignogna. Vic Mignogna, who's an outspoken conservative Christian, that may or may not have played into how easily he was terminated from Rooster Teeth. I think Rooster Teeth was the first company to fire Vic when the allegations surfaced.
Well, it's interesting. This is from last year. This is from June of last year.
June of last year.
Person making a con as if being super liberal and it's not friendly to you if you don't align.
That's interesting.
That is very interesting. Keep going. I'm gonna keep looking while you keep talking about this.
Well, yeah, I just don't know what else to say about this. Rooster Teeth, I would say expect some more cutbacks. Expect them to maybe get rolled into some other, animation division within Warner Brothers. I don't think it's going to get better. I think you're right. I think with the streaming service, I think they're probably going to, demand more content be churned out. And if they're getting it for free, these companies, so many of these companies, this is kind of the same situation with comics, where the business model is basically based on cheap labor or free labor. As soon as people ask for more money, then that throws off the whole thing. Like, these companies were just sort of getting by to begin with, and now that people actually want paid a decent living wage, well, that throws a wrench into the whole thing. Now they can't make money. That's like I saw the other day that they were trying to unionize comic book creators.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, that's not gonna work, because the comic book industry is hanging on by its fingertips right now, and the only way it's surviving is because these young starry-eyed artists will work for next to nothing.
Well, here's the problem with that idea too, is the person that was behind this idea is like a socialism major in Portland. So I'm not trying to be pigeonholing people here, but I think we kind of have an idea how that would go about who would get to be in the union and who would not.
Yeah.
We can make inferences based on a couple things in this person's, profile and such. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on this. This was a very interesting find here, Carnival Man. And I think you're going to see a lot more. I think you're going to see some of this with Crunchyroll, too, in fact.
I'm sorry. Carnival Man does whatever Carnival Man does. See, he or she gets a song because you're going to put Crunchyroll. Is that what you're going to
write? Yeah, I'm going to put
because
Crunchyroll.
they sent it to us, so they get a song.
Let's go out and see.
2.9.
Oh, here we go again. A lot changing. A lot's changing. Learn and grow. Don't let the featured review fool you. You never know. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. Don't let the featured review fool you. You never know who you're working for from 1 minute to the next. Verve, Crunchyroll, Otter, WarnerMedia, AT&T. Not even upper management has a clue, let alone regular managers. Cross-team communication is a joke. Everyone is doing their own thing. Morale is the worst out of any company I've worked for.
Wow.
Don't even bother. Glassdoor forces me to add 5 words. Yes. Cons, the place for all creativity and ambition to die. Look elsewhere. Opportunity awaits.
Wait, go back up for a second. Advice to management. We all know you're all on retainer and are bailing once the ship starts to sink. Just leave.
Ooh. Wow. Circling the drain.
What were you going to say? Where was that at?
Underneath the opportunity awaits.
Where is it at?
Right here.
Circling the drain. Oh, okay. Good benefits. People are nice. Catered lunch and dinner. So they get catered lunch and dinner.
Okay, this jives with everything we've been told.
Everything we've been telling you guys.
Company took an immediate nosedive after the WarnerMedia acquisition. Budgets got cut. Hiring was frozen. Product development went into the weeds, and management seems hopelessly outmatched by the new corporate masters. Product development went into the weeds. High Guardian Spice went into the weeds.
I wonder who called this. Could it be us?
Institutional influence has coalesced around one particular team, the social team, at the expense of the company as a whole. Unfortunately, this team is the least experienced and least capable.
The social team.
The social team.
They're the ones who did that lovely video for High Guardian Spice.
Probably. Upper management is largely absent in the day-to-day, from the CEO to various GMs. In light of ownership change, senior people have started to leave the company. It's clear that anyone who can is looking for an exit. You can hear senior executives having phone interviews for new jobs. Oh my God. Morale is abysmal. It's obvious to anyone with eyeballs and a brain that Warner has no interest in Elation, Crunchyroll, or VRB except for the assets.
Yes, which is what we've been saying. That's what we've been saying. AstroTurf
reviews aside, there are no future opportunities with this company. So this happened back when, in March. This is, where's High Guardian Spice? It's in limbo, because who the hell knows what's going on with Crunchyroll right now.
Yeah, so there you go, guys.
Interesting, and same with Rooster Teeth. So basically, any
this
animation,
is Elation right here.
Yeah, but it's all part of Warner.
But High Guardian Spice was being done by Elation.
Yeah.
So, because it's run by women, and that's important because it's all women.
But they're like, they don't even know where the hell they work. These people don't even know where they work from day to day. They're like, who owns us?
I mean, who they work for. You mean?
Yeah, who owns us? We don't even know who owns us. We're just here. And everybody's trying to get out. And the same kind of thing's going on at Rooster Teeth. And I have heard that Cartoon Network, there will probably be layoffs at Cartoon Network. So Warner Brothers is really clamping down on the animation studios it owns. And, from a purely dollars and cents point of view, why do you need 5 different animation studios?
You don't.
These were all separate companies at one point in time, but since they acquired them all, it's like, why do you need 5 different?
And when you merge companies like that, you do get rid of overlap.
Yeah, redundancies.
So, and it seems like they need to get some redundancies and management out over at Rooster Teeth. That sounds of it.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep an eye on this definitely, because I do think the Crunchyroll apocalypse is coming soon. That's just a feeling.
I thought they wanted people to stay crunchy, but now they're all mad about the crunch.
They're mad about the crunch.
Did you notice this? I found that very entertaining, because that was on that of course was on the Rooster Teeth, but they kept saying the crunch. But don't they want them to stay crunchy?
Not like this. Not like this.
All right, so
we're going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, gaming videos, art videos, and more here on Clownfish TV. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.